The air is heavy, almost suffocating. Sunlight streams through the tall windows, falling in long stripes across the polished wooden floor, illuminating dust particles floating lazily in the tense silence. The smell of varnish, old paper, and just a hint of perfume mixes with nervous sweat from the spectators. Everyone can feel it. The anticipation, the undercurrent of fear, the sense that the next few hours could change everything. Kody Brown sits at the defense table, his posture stiff, his hands gripping the edge of the polished wood so tightly that his knuckles turn white. Every muscle in his body tenses with every measured breath. Across the room, Christine's eyes burn with a mixture of fury and apprehension, her jaw set, lips pressed into a hard line. There was a storm brewing behind those eyes, and everyone knew it. Robyn sits quietly, her hands folded neatly in her lap, a calm exterior masking the tempest inside. Her eyes flick from Kody to Christine to the gallery of onlookers who have gathered to witness the unraveling of a family whose secrets have long been whispered about in the shadows. Janelle leans slightly forward, the faint trembling of her hands a betrayal of her anxiety. Meri, seated beside her, clutches her handbag as if it were a lifeline, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. Each Brown family member harbors his or her own secret terrors and personal disasters, until today, under the cold fluorescent lights of the courtroom, the judge enters, and in that instant, the mood flips. A sharp crack from the gavel cuts like a warning shot through the air. All eyes turn forward. Every shoulder feels the weight of expectation. This isn't a run-of-the-mill court hearing. This is personal, family, trust, and betrayal. Unraveled lives, out of sight, save for edited television clips and rumor. Now it's all laid bare, raw and unfiltered. The first witness is called forward. A woman, close to the Browns for years, a witness to the fissures that have been forming behind the public image, steps up. Her voice breaks slightly as she begins. "I've tried to stay out of it," she says, her eyes darting nervously toward Kody. "But what I know, it can't be ignored anymore." The courtroom leans in. Every ear strains, every eye widens. There is an unspoken understanding. What comes next could shatter lives. The witness recounts late-night arguments, whispered threats, and clandestine meetings that had been kept secret for years. Every detail is a knife, slicing through the thin veil of trust that the family has maintained. Janelle bites her lip, trying to maintain composure, but her hands betray her anxiety. Meri blinks rapidly, her mind racing to reconcile what she's hearing with what she believed to be true. Even Robyn, who often maintains a serene calm, feels a ripple of unease. Her carefully constructed composure begins to fray. Each word spoken is a revelation. Each sentence builds tension like bricks in a wall that's about to collapse. Christine stands up, her voice cutting through the murmurs, sharp and resolute. "This isn't just about money or schedules," she says, her voice trembling slightly with suppressed emotion. "It's about respect. Something that's been missing for far too long." Her words hit like a hammer. Kody swallows hard, feeling the weight of her accusation, the intensity of her scrutiny. Robyn's eyes flick to Kody, silently asking the question she cannot voice. How did it come to this? The courtroom is almost electric, the tension is palpable. Every glance, every shift in weight, every nervous cough seems to intensify the charged atmosphere. The witness continues, revealing secrets that had been locked away, private emails and hidden financial dealings among them. It isn't just about the money, it's about manipulation, favoritism, and the delicate, tenuous web of relationships that has kept this family operating, just barely, all these many years. As the testimony finally unfolds, emotions erupt. Christine's face is pale but afire, her hands clenching and unclenching with each new shocking revelation. Kody's jaw tightens, a bead of sweat rolling down his temple. Robyn's normally calm demeanor shows cracks, her lips pressed in a thin line while she digests each revelation. Janelle's breathing is shallow as her hands shake ever so slightly. Meri wipes a tear from her cheek, her mind racing through fear, sadness, and betrayal. Then comes the bombshell. The witness pulls out a confidential letter, one that was never supposed to have left the family's tight circle. It contains accusations, confessions no one could have imagined. The courtroom erupts in a wave of gasps, wide eyes, and trembling fingers as the meaning of it all sets in. Who could have written it? And who leaked it? Why now, after all these years? Kody's hands shook as he glanced at the letter, knowing full well that what had been revealed on that paper had the potential to irreparably harm relationships, reputations, and whatever fragile bonds remained. Christine's face turned cold, calculated. Her eyes indicated how significant this piece of evidence was. Robyn leaned slightly forward, quickening her pulse, as she knew that whatever would be revealed next would make choices for all that could never be taken back. The court reporter is scribbling furiously to jot down every detail, while the judge silently watches the palpable tension. The faces of the other wives are filled with fear, anger, and unbelief. Murmurs begin to circulate among the spectators. Cameras flash in the back and capture the raw emotion etched on each face. The air feels thick, almost suffocating, with the weight of anticipation. Then, Christine rises once more, her voice shaking but commanding. "We all have secrets," she begins, her eyes locking with Kody's. But some secrets should never see the light of day, and yet here we are. And then, dead silence within the courtroom. The statement hangs in the air like a storm cloud, waiting to burst. Kody can barely form words, his throat tight, as he realizes that the family he thought he knew is on the verge of unraveling before his very eyes. Robyn fidgets in her seat, her mind racing through every possible scenario, every possible outcome. She knows alliances may shift, trust may shatter, and the coming days will be decisive. Now, Janelle's hands visibly quiver, while Meri's face is pale and drained of color. Every member of the family stands on the edge of a precipice, knowing one misstep will send them all tumbling into chaos. The sun begins to set on this day, and the witness steps down from the stand, leaving the courtroom riddled with tension. Chinks have appeared in relationships from these letters, emails, and testimonies, and they will go deeper with each passing day. Kody is left standing alone for a moment, looking down at the table, running a hand through his hair, the thoughts of fear and uncertainty coursing through his mind. Outside, the press is waiting, the cameras flashing to capture raw expressions of shock and disbelief. A mysterious envelope slides under Kody's office door as he steps into the hall. He picks it up, falters for a second, and then rips it open to reveal documents and photos exposing even deeper betrayals that no one saw coming. His hands are shaking as he realizes the implications, and a cold shiver runs down his spine. This isn't a courtroom battle. It's a war about trust, secrets, and survival. The camera pans across the empty courtroom as the gavel still echoes in the air. Dust swirls in the sun, silent witness to the drama unfolding. Outside, hushed whispers of speculation waft through the hallways. The Brown family will be brought to their knees, and no one knows who will come out unscathed and who will leave broken. The stage is set for conflict that will test loyalties and reveal hidden truths, forcing every family member to confront the very thing they've been trying to avoid for years. The next morning, sunlight filters into the courtroom, but the warmth of the day does little to ease the tension inside. The polished floors reflect the harsh fluorescent lights above, casting cold, elongated shadows over the faces of the Brown family. Kody Brown arrives first, his expression taut, eyes scanning the room with a mixture of fear and calculation. Each step he takes echoes ominously, a reminder of the weight pressing down on him. Christine's entrance immediately commands attention. Her pale face and sharp eyes betray both anticipation and simmering fury. She moves with calculated precision, seating herself just a few feet from Kody, every movement deliberate, every gesture signaling control. Robyn follows quietly, slipping into her chair with a calm that masks the storm of thoughts racing behind her composed exterior. Her fingers fidget subtly in her lap, betraying her inner tension. Janelle and Meri arrive together, their expressions uneasy, reflecting the uncertainty that grips the entire family. The gallery is packed. Journalists whisper among themselves, the faint clicking of cameras punctuating the heavy air. The gavel hits once more, slicing through the whispers, and silence falls like a shroud over the room. The prosecution starts with allegations that shake the core of the family. Financial mismanagement, hidden accounts, and debts kept secret from some wives. The documents are precise, each number and line dissected to the last full stop, the cold, clinical presentation in jarring contrast to the emotional turmoil of those seated at the defense table. Janelle's hands shake with a slight tremble as she tries to steady herself. Every page turns up a reminder that her name is implicated in accusations she never could have imagined. Meri's breathing quickens, and she instinctively clutches her handbag, eyes darting from Kody to Christine, silently seeking guidance, support, any anchor in this storm. The first witness, a longtime family insider, steps forward. Their testimony begins carefully, each sentence measured, but beneath their calm lies a deep urgency. "I've kept quiet for too long," they begin, voice steady but edged with tension. but the truth can no longer be ignored. Some actions have consequences, and some secrets, once revealed, cannot be taken back. Every eye in the room shifts to the witness. Even the judge leans slightly forward, the gravity of the moment unmistakable. The events he disclosed ran from late-night confrontations to private messages to clandestine meetings. Christine's face sharpens, her hands clenching lightly against the table in front of her, as if anchoring herself against a tidal wave of information. Kody's jaw sets, lips pressed, as the weight of each disclosed implication strikes home. Robyn's calm wavers as evidence points to decisions made behind closed doors, which altered trust and loyalty in profound ways. The tension increases as the witness brings forth an email exchange that depicts, between two of the wives, the making of secret plans, legal action perhaps, or ways to protect one's individual interests at the expense of the family. The room falls silent. Every onlooker holds their breath, caught up in the anticipation of what will emerge. Christine's eyes dart with shock mixed with calculation. Kody fidgets uncomfortably in his chair, aware of every word spoken breaking down the very foundations he had come to believe in. Cross-examination begins, and the atmosphere heightens. Christine's voice rises, sharp and commanding. "Do you honestly believe your actions have gone unnoticed?" She cuts through the hushed room. Robyn answers measured but firm, placing a calculated interest in avoiding further confrontation. Janelle tries to interject, offering mediation, but her voice is drowned by the rising tide of emotions. Meri leans back, eyes welling as her mind fights for control with the storm unfolding around her. The prosecution produces a bombshell, a signed confession that directly contradicts the testimony. Documents pointing to hidden motives and private betrayals. Gasps ripple through the courtroom. Kody's hands shake just a little. Christine's face steals over. Robyn leans forward, the blood pounding in her veins. The family has now been dragged into a battle over not just the law, but over loyalty, perception, the deepest recesses of trust. The witness continues to testify that the secrets go far deeper than expected. Secret alliances, private disputes, and financial decisions never disclosed that have been leading the relationships for years. The tension in the courtroom is palpable, electric, almost visible. Every glance, every shift of weight, every swallowed breath speaks volumes about the storm brewing. Christine gets up again and faces Kody. "Do you realize what you have done? What you have allowed to happen?" she asks, her voice teetering between emotive breaks and a razor-sharp edge in intent. Kody's face is ashen as he swallows hard, his eyes heavy with the weight of her words. Robyn protests a faint murmur no one hears in the din of emotional turmoil. Janelle's attempts at calm underline the fracturing unity among them. Meri sits frozen, speechless, overwhelmed by the revelations that threaten to take apart everything in her world. And then, there is the revelation of new evidence. The existence of a previously unknown confidential letter with admissions and accusations that could shake the family to its very foundations. The courtroom erupts in an instant, with murmurs, gasps, and whispered speculation rippling across the room. Eyes widen. Breathing stops. Who wrote it? How did it surface? Why now? The letter exposes deep rifts and hidden motives, revealing betrayals that no one expected. Kody's hands shake as he glances at it. Christine's eyes are icy with resolve, and Robyn's carefully measured composure begins to crumble. Janelle's fingers clutch the edge of her seat, and Meri's face pales. Every member of the family is forced to confront the truth and the consequences of the lies they've lived with for years. The courtroom empties slowly as the first session comes to a close. Cameras flash, capturing the emotional aftermath, while whispers fill the hallways. Kody steps into the corridor, running a hand through his hair, visibly struggling to maintain composure. Christine follows, eyes sharp, her expression unrelenting. Robyn lingers behind, caught between loyalty and fear, knowing that what has been revealed will shape every next move. Then, almost unnoticed, a mysterious envelope slides under Kody's office door. He picks it up, hesitates, and tears it open. Inside are documents and photographs evidence that could alter the course of the case completely. His hands shake as he beholds the contents. The family may have thought that the day's revelations were devastating, but this envelope promises a deeper, darker truth yet to surface. As he stands in the dimly lit hallway, Kody realizes how massive the situation really is. It is no more a simple courtroom battle. It is a full-scale confrontation in which loyalty, betrayal, and the survival of the family are at risk. The walls that have long guarded the secrets of the Brown family are crumbling, and every decision from this moment on could determine who survives the fallout and who is left broken. The journalists speculating outside the courtroom capture all the tension and emotion of the family on camera. The story is no longer just about legal matters, but human emotion, the fragility of trust, and the devastating aftermath of revelations of long-held secrets. The stage is now set, with all the pieces in motion, and the audience can tell that the forthcoming sessions are going to be even more explosive, more emotional, and far more revealing. The courtroom is tense with anticipation the next morning. Sunlight filters through the tall windows, yet the warmth does nothing to ease the cold undercurrent of fear and suspicion in the air. Kody Brown is the first inside, moving cautious, eyes scanning the room as if the walls themselves might whisper secrets. Each step clangs loud on the polished floor, a marked reminder of the stakes at hand. Christine enters moments later, her pale face framed with a sharp intensity. Her jaw is set, lips pressed thin, every movement measured, strong in the air of authority and determination. Christine takes her seat deliberately closer to the defense table than she needs to, making it perfectly clear she is ready to take on not just Kody, but every truth buried for years. Robyn slips in quietly behind her, keeping her head low, maintaining the calm demeanor she's known for. But her fingers fidget subtly, betraying the storm that churns inside her. She scans the room, noting the positions of each family member and calculating the likely reactions to what is about to unfold. Janelle follows, attempting a composed entrance, but the faint tremor in her hands and quick glances cast at Kody reveal an anxiety she can't hide. Meri arrives last, her face pale, her eyes wide as if bracing herself for the emotional blows that the day promises. The sharp striking of the gavel commands silence. The presence of the judge himself is reminder enough that today, the stakes are high. Today, the session promises revelations that no one in this room will ever forget. The air is rife with anticipation, charged by secrets which at any moment threaten to explode into the open. The first witness of the day is called a family confidant who, for years, has watched the inner workings of the Brown household. Their mere presence draws a hush across the courtroom. They speak carefully at first, measured, but beneath the surface is an urgency that cannot be contained. "I've held my tongue for years," they begin, voice even, mannered, yet laced with emotion. But the truth can no longer remain hidden. Some actions have consequences, and some secrets, once revealed, cannot be taken back. The words hang in the air, heavy and inescapable. The witness describes private confrontations, long-hidden messages, and the moments when alliances shifted secretly behind closed doors. Christine's eyes narrow in intensity, her hands clenching onto the table in front of her as she listens to the details she had suspected but never confirmed. Kody swallows hard, his composure faltering as the testimony begins to reveal the extent of the hidden maneuvers, concealed betrayals. Robyn shifts in her seat, her carefully controlled calm cracking slightly under the weight of each revelation. The room seems to shrink as layers of deception are pulled back, exposing vulnerabilities no one in the family can ignore. And then, the first bombshell of the day drops, an exchange of personal emails between two of the wives, insinuating that legal strategies were contrived behind closed doors. The room is hushed. Every onlooker bends forward, not to miss a single word. Christine's lips are pursed, her eyes slitted. Kody's jaw clenches. He knows with every spoken sentence, the well-kept masks are crumbling. Robyn looks at him, her eyes asking in silence if their trust will make it through this storm. Cross-examination now begins, a tense, chess-like verbal sparring. Christine's voice rises sharply. "Do you really think no one was watching?" she demands, her tone cutting, precise, and full of accusation. Robyn responds softly but firmly, word choices carefully laid out to defend herself but not escalate the conflict. Janelle attempts to intervene, but she is drowned out by the emotional intensity swelling in the room. Meri's hands shake as she clutches her purse, a small shield against the storm of revelations battering her emotionally. More bombshells are delivered as the prosecution introduces a signed confession that contradicts previous testimony and uncovers ulterior motives and private betrayals. The courtroom gasps collectively. Kody's hands slightly quake. Christine's face sets in an icy determination. Robyn leans forward, pulse quickening, knowing this confession can tear down in a moment what it took decades to build in relationships and trust. Janelle clutches the seat of her chair, and Meri blinks several times, her mind reeling as walls seem to shut down around her. The witness reveals the web of deception runs much deeper than imagined. Hidden alliances, private arguments, and secret decisions, everyone causing shockwaves through the room. Every movement is magnified, every shift in weight, every nervous cough. The tension palpable, like an entity pressing down on each family member. Christine gets up again, her eyes fixed on Kody, voice shaking but not breaking its intensity. "Do you have any idea what your decisions have caused?" She presses. Cody's face turns white as the weight of what she has said kicks in. Robyn tries to interrupt, her soft protests muffled by the charged atmosphere. Janelle's attempts at calm are drowned by the swelling drama, and Meri just sits there frozen, caught between fear and despair as the revelations mount. Then comes the moment when a letter of a confidential nature is pulled out, one that should have never left the private confines of the family. The court leans forward in anticipation as its contents are revealed, and what it reveals is so incriminating that it leaves them all speechless for some time. The room erupts in gasps, whispers, and stifled cries. Every eye was pegged on the letter. Who was the author? How did it surface? Why now? The letter exposes hidden betrayals and motives, shaking the bedrock of trust. Cody's hands shake while he takes it in. Christine's gaze sharpens, Robyn's composure falters, and Janelle bites her lip to hold herself back from speaking. Meri's face is pale, eyes wide, struggling to process it all emotionally. For the first time, the family is made to face truths they have buried for years. The courtroom becomes a pressure cooker of emotion, with each revelation adding more heat to the tension. As the session draws to a close, the first salvo of testimony leaves the family and the audience reeling. Cameras flash in the back of the room, capturing the raw emotion etched on each face. Outside, journalists whisper and speculate, their voices carrying hints of scandal that will soon reach the public. Kody steps into the hallway alone, running a hand through his hair, struggling to process the day's revelations. Christine follows, her eyes unrelenting as if daring him to respond. Robyn lingers behind, her mind reeling with the knowledge that what's been revealed will color every interaction in the days to come. A mysterious envelope slides under Cody's office door, largely unnoticed until he picks it up, pauses, and opens it. Inside, documents, photographs, and messages detail even deeper betrayals than those revealed today. His hands shake as he realizes the implications. What was an emotional battlefield has escalated into a full-scale confrontation that may forever destroy bonds of trust that have been held for so long. Standing alone in the dimly lit hallway, the enormity of the situation weighs heavily upon Kody. This is no longer a simple question of a legal dispute. It is a trial of loyalty, a battle over truth, and an emotional reckoning which will touch every member of the family. Outside, whispers circulate, speculation grows, and the stage is set for a confrontation that promises more shock, emotion, and betrayal than anyone could have imagined. The courtroom feels even heavier the next morning. Sun streams in through high windows, but its warmth is almost mocking, a stark contrast to the chill of tension that grips the room. Robyn is the first to arrive, quiet, tense, and with her fingers closely clenched together. Today, she knows, could change everything. The air is thick with expectation. Each spectator knows that the emotional storm is about to reach a new peak. Christine enters moments later, with icy determination radiating from every step. Her eyes scan the room like a hawk, noticing every little movement and nervous glance. She doesn't sit. She places herself in position, clearly signaling that she is ready to confront not just Kody, but the whole web of secrets and betrayals building over the years. Janelle follows, attempting a composed entrance, though her hands slightly tremble as she adjusts herself on the seat. Meri arrives last, her expression fragile, as if readying herself for emotional blows that she cannot quite fathom. Kody enters carefully, shoulders tight, his jaw clenched, aware that every decision today may change the balance of his life and family. The gavel strikes sharply, and silence descends like a blanket over the room. Robyn is called to testify at the beginning of the session. She rises, voice steady, but laced with emotions decades held inside. "I never wanted it to come to this," she begins, eyes scanning the family members. "But truth has a way of coming out, whether we like it or not." Her words hang in the air, electric with tension. She speaks of private conversations with Kody, moments of quiet reflection, and times when she sensed tensions build between the other wives. The room listens in rapt attention as Robyn navigates a tightrope between honesty and self-protection. Each word uttered by her feels as if a thread is being pulled from the family tapestry, threatening to unravel relationships carefully nurtured through decades. Then comes the bombshell. Robyn reveals private messages and communications that suggest alliances were being formed behind the scenes. Strategic conversations intended to sway opinions and manipulate outcomes. The courtroom collectively leans forward. Christine's eyes flash, a mixture of disbelief and fury crossing her pale face. Kody shifts uneasily as the weight of the revelation presses down on him. Janelle's fingers shake with a will to steady herself on the polished wooden table, while Meri's face is a picture of utter disbelief. Her mind racing to fathom the implications. Cross-examination sets off fire in the room. Christine stands up, her voice razor-sharp and accusing. "Do you think you can control the narrative by hiding behind selective truths?" she asks. Robyn's voice is calm but determined, being judicious with her choice of words to avoid an escalation of conflict. The tension between them is palpable, almost a physical force weighing down everyone in the room. Every eye in the courtroom follows their exchange, a feeling rising that the emotional stakes have never been higher. The witness called after Robyn has been a silent observer of the family's inner workings for years. The testimony is damning in revealing hidden conflicts, secret manipulations, and private confrontations that nobody outside of the family has ever seen. There are gasps throughout the courtroom as the incidents of favoritism, subtle threats, and fractured trust between wives are recounted. Kody swallows hard, visibly shaken, listening to details he had hoped would never surface. Christine gets up once more, her voice razor-sharp, cutting through the tense ambiance. "For years, we've been pretending everything is fine," she says, her voice breaking with emotion. But it's not. And now, the world can see it. The courtroom was quiet, except for the rustling of papers and cameras clicking away to capture this drama as it unfolded. Robyn's calm demeanor came close to cracking for the first time, the weight of exposure weighing on her. Janelle and Meri exchanged anxious glances, their faces pale, as if the revelations were too much to bear. In walk a new set of witnesses, people who were supposed to testify many months previously and have remained silent until now. Their testimony is explosive, detailing communications and actions that no one could have predicted. Loyalty and allegiance come into question, and the courtroom takes on the feeling of a pressure cooker ready to explode. Every word they say ratchets up suspense, tension, and emotional intensity, leaving everyone in that room and everyone watching on edge. And then an envelope is proffered to the judge. At first, its contents aren't shown, but the reactions are quick to come. Kody goes pale, Christine's eyes narrow, and Robyn leans forward, as if her instincts are telling her the magnitude of what's about to be revealed. It's photos and text messages, directly contradicting testimony previously given and exposing another layer of betrayal. Murmurs sweep through the gallery, and the atmosphere becomes almost unbearable. The letters and messages reveal secret alliances, private deals, and clandestine actions that shake the very notion of trust in the family. Kody's hands slightly quiver as he looks at the documents. Christine's face sets, her eyes cold with determination. Robyn struggles to keep a poker face when she really knows that these revelations can change everything. Janelle compresses her lips not to betray her feelings. Meri's face is set in shock, genuinely afraid of what could happen. The session quickly concludes as the judge orders a recess amidst an eruption of whispers and tension filling the room, while the cameras capture the raw displays of shock, incredulity, and even betrayal. Kody walks out slowly, shoulders bent, a man weighed down by the weight of his family's secrets. Christine follows, eyes still locked on him, while Robyn lingers in the back of her mind, wrapping her head around the implications of today's revelations. In the hallway, as the family disperses, a mysterious note is slipped under Kody's office door. He picks it up, hesitates, then opens it. The contents are explosive, messages and photographs that suggest deeper betrayals than anyone has imagined. His face pales, hands shaking as he realizes that the storm of today was only the beginning. As Kody stands alone, absorbing the weight of these revelations, the camera pans over the empty courtroom. Dust swirls lazily in the sunlight, a silent witness to the unfolding drama. Secrets and lies and betrayals lie in wait, ready to explode in the sessions to follow. The Brown family's world has shifted irreversibly, and nothing will ever be the same. The next session begins, and the courtroom feels suffocating. Sunlight streams through the tall windows, almost cruelly, and lays a bright glow on the strained faces of the Brown family and the anxious spectators who have come to bear witness to what promises to be a day of revelations. First in is Kody Brown, shoulders tight, jaw clenched, every step measured. He knows that each moment today may redefine the family he has spent decades trying to hold together. Christine follows, her pale face masked with determination as her eyes scan the room like an eagle. Thin-lipped, she has a sharpness to her movements that signals attack mode on the truths she has suspected for so long. Robyn slips in quietly, the calm of her demeanor cloaking the storm inside her. She sits down gingerly, her fingers interlaced, and eyes dart to Kody and then Christine in silent calculation of the move to come. Then Janelle and Meri, full of apprehension and exhaustion, acutely aware that the courtroom will be witness not only to a legal battle, but also to the unraveling of trust and relationships within their family. The gavel strikes, and silence falls. The judge calls Kody forward with the mysterious envelope he received at the end of the last session. His hands shake slightly as he approaches the bench, knowing full well the documents contained within have the potential to destroy his family. He sets the envelope down gingerly in front of the judge, collecting his thoughts before speaking. "Your Honor," he begins in a hushed tone, "I only discovered this yesterday, and I believe it is crucial for the court to see." The judge nods solemnly, and the contents are revealed. Inside are photographs, private text messages, and letters suggesting betrayals that go far deeper than any previous testimony. The courtroom collectively gasps as eyes widen in shock. Christine's sharp gaze narrows. Robyn leans forward, tension coiling like a spring. Janelle grips the edge of her chair, and Meri's hand trembles as she instinctively wipes away tears. The weight of the revelations presses down on everyone, and the room seems to shrink under the tension. The prosecution doesn't waste any time, methodically laying out the evidence. With every photograph, with every message, with every letter, hidden alliances, private confrontations, and acts of betrayal unfold before them, never before seen outside the family. Christine rises and says, with trembling in her voice but controlled in her anger, "We've all been pretending, but the truth has a way of coming out, whether we like it or not." The courtroom holds its collective breath. Robyn is quiet in her delivery. She articulates her side thoughtfully. "The decisions I made were never to harm anyone," she says in a firm yet calm voice. "I only acted in the best interest of the family as I understood it." Her words, though measured, carry the weight of emotion and desperation, a plea for understanding amidst the storm. Then comes the most expected moment. Janelle is called to testify. She recounts moments of confrontation with Kody and the other wives, describing nights of whispered arguments and difficult decisions made in private. Her voice cracks at times, raw with emotion, exposing the fractures in relationships that have long been hidden. The room is silent except for the intermittent sob, the faint rustling of papers, and the clicks of cameras capturing every detail. Meri is next. Her testimony is heartbreak personified. She speaks of trust broken, dreams lost, and fear that the family may never recover. Her words are laced with regret, her voice trembling as she recounts private moments of vulnerability that have now been made public. The courtroom leans in. Every spectator senses the emotional stakes are higher than ever. Kody shifts uncomfortably in his seat, visibly shaken by the weight of the confessions laid bare. Christine's eyes are icy, Robyn's calm tested, and Janelle's attempts at steadiness falter under the intensity of the moment. Another envelope is suddenly handed to the judge with unknown contents. The room turns silent in tension. Inside, there were photographs and text messages that contradicted prior testimony, showing more betrayals and alliances that no one could have imagined. The looks of shock, unbelief, and fear are cemented on every single face inside the courtroom. It's electric in there, just crackling with suspense and raw emotion. Abruptly, the session ended as the judge called for a recess, and the room began to empty. Cameras continue popping as family members show raw emotion in their faces. Kody steps into the hall with his shoulders slumped, weighed down by the weight of what had happened that day. Christine follows him out, still staring at him, while Robyn stays behind, silently calculating what has transpired due to the new evidence. Janelle and Meri go quietly, exhausted and emotionally spent. Whispers spread quickly outside the courtroom. Speculation is rife among the many journalists, while the family contends with the emotional aftermath of what just happened. Kody thinks about everything: revelation, betrayal, and each word spoken as the thoughts race through his mind. He knows that what has been revealed today is just the beginning. The future sessions will demand difficult choices, test loyalties, and make the family face the truth they have long avoided. Kody stands in a hallway alone, clutching the envelopes, letters, and pictures, his heart heavy with emotion. The camera pans across an empty courtroom, with dust motes dancing in the sun, silent witness to the unfolding drama. More intense confrontations have been set into motion than any scene so far. Secrets buried for decades are now exposed, and the Brown family must navigate the treacherous waters of betrayal, trust, and survival. The day closes on a tense cliffhanger. A phone buzzes in Kody's pocket. A message from an unknown source hinting at yet another secret, one that could tip the delicate balance of relationships into chaos. His face pales as he reads it, knowing that tomorrow promises even greater revelations.